Cresting, really the big problems are those Pearl River creeks is what we call them. And the one that really jumps out, Alexa was mentioning, is the East Hoblachita River that is closer to the Caesar area. It's actually expected to crest above the record flood stage by about a foot. Now, that record was set back in 2012 in September. So if you were in that area back in 2012 and you flooded, you are likely going to flood and maybe even worse this time around because we still have tremendous amounts of rain that are falling. And by the way, we do have extra rain that is starting to develop now closer to the metro. Now, this is not anything substantial at the moment, but it shows you that we're not done with rain. So if you are out there doing some cleanup, just know some downpours are starting to pop up back through St. Charles Parish, closer to Luling and Booty and Des Almonds. We've also got some healthy downpours that are popping up over the lake. And we do have more substantial rain developing up into parts of St. Tammany Parish and into Pearl River County. We'll get back to radar. There we go. And you can see there that heavy rain threat, it's going to only be worsened by any extra rain. And so a flash flood emergency does continue for the Picayune area. These are the same areas that are also going to be flooding from the Hoblachita Creeks, or the Bowley Creek as it's called there in the Picayune area. But that is going to see substantial flooding today and into tomorrow. So you've got to take that seriously. Slidell, you're getting a break right now, but we've got another batch of very heavy rain moving in from the west. So this is going to be over the Lacombe area soon. And then we've got another batch of rain kind of in the Eden Isles and the Wrigley's area. And by the way, the emergency management over in St. Tammany sent in some pictures, and we're going to work to get more visuals for you. Some significant tornado damage around Eden Isles, but also the Avery Estates area took a really big beating from this tornado that we had on radar, and that moved up into Hancock County. So we are still getting more and more of those reports coming in. So we are extremely concerned with the Picayune area, specifically for some significant flooding. We've got more back building. This is only going to make the flooding so much more worse in the Picayune area. We are going to be watching that very, very closely. A flash flood emergency remains in effect for Picayune at this hour, and you can see when I put it up on your So anywhere in green is a flash flood warning. That burgundy color is a flash flood emergency. That's a step higher to where flooding is seriously life-threatening, and that includes the Picayune area, that includes the Richardson area, all the way down to the Nicholson area there on I-59. So that is our most concerning flood warning that we have in the area right now. But with these additional showers and storms that are seeming to develop here down from the North Shore to the New Orleans metro, we're going to have to watch for maybe some additional isolated flooding through, especially St. Tammany Parish, but here on the South Shore. If we can keep them isolated like what we're seeing here right now, then we'll be on the okay side. But just goes to show you, we may be not done with some of these extra rain bands that do seem to be setting up, especially in the Pearl River County area, specifically around Picayune. Picayune is the biggest problem. I-59, oh, this is just an update. I-59 shut down near Picayune. This is as water is approaching homes and businesses and Picayune. So we've got an interstate shutdown. Leah's going to work on getting some information on this coming in right now, but this was just put in here. The National Weather Service saying with this extra rain that we've got coming in, we are likely going to see this interstate. It may be shut down for a while. So just a heads up, I-59 is shut down near Picayune. Water is approaching homes and businesses in Picayune, and we have more and more rain that is going to fall in the Picayune area. And when I say more rain, we could see several inches more of rain. You know, Alexa was showing earlier how much rain has fallen across our area in the past, just 12 hours alone. And this is what we feared. And unfortunately, the band of rain that fell set up right across the big portion of the area. But Pearl River and Hancock counties, some spots have picked up. Just in the past 12 hours or so, some areas have picked up over a foot of rainfall. I think we're going to add another, maybe some places could see another 2 to 4 inches of rain. Just around Picayune alone, we're talking 7 to 12 inches of rain. So this is why we've got this latest update that I-59 is shut down near Picayune. This is according to a meteorologist from the National Weather Service. Businesses and homes are also seeing water approach them in the Picayune area. So this is a big update there. If you've got to travel, 59 is going to be impossible there in the Picayune area, and we are continuing to see more and more rainfall fall across parts of Pearl River County. And even Hancock County, northern Hancock County, I am tremendously concerned about flooding there. Now, if you live along the Jordan River, I suspect the Jordan River is going to be running very high as well. The latest flood forecast on the Jordan River shows Let me pull it up really quickly. The Jordan River, this is going to be near the Kill, is currently running below action flood stage. They have it getting up to minor flood stage, but with all this additional rain, we may have to update that river forecast. Also, a little bit further over into Harrison County, we are concerned about the Wolf River cresting in moderate flood stage later on Saturday. So that river is going to take a little bit longer to get higher here. But again, if you're just joining us here at 10:35, one of the big weather updates that is happening right now is that I-59 is shut down in the Picayune area because of significant flooding, and it looks like more heavy rainfall is falling in the Picayune area as we speak. Radar is very concerning. This band of rain that's setting up in the Picayune area also extends down towards Hickory and Pearl River. So the Picayune area has more heavy rain coming in, and that's leading to big problems along I-59. Leah, do we have any visuals of this, perhaps? We don't have any cameras on 59?
Not in that stretch.
Not in that stretch, okay. And you're seeing it shut down around Picayune itself?
Correct.
Do you know what cross-section that is? Is it like 43?
This looks like Sycamore Road. Yeah, that's 43.
Okay, so around 43 and 59 is where we're seeing the interstate shut down as that water continues to rise. Of course, this is only going to get worse, we do believe, with extra heavy rain, and as we see the rivers and the creeks rise in this area too, we will see other flooding issues around Picayune, including into homes and businesses and in surrounding areas. So a flash flood emergency, as serious as it gets, that's going to continue for the Picayune area. That warning officially goes until the flash flood emergency, that is, officially goes until when's the expiration? Until noon, but we may see that expanded here because it is 10:35 and we've got extra rain that's falling. So we might see more and more upgrading the flash flood warnings to be extended, basically. So that's what we're tracking here with the latest on these flash flood warnings. There are some showers that are going to be moving through the South Shore. These are not terribly concerning at the moment, and even in St. Tammany, some heavy rain, but I'm really concerned about that Picayune area with what we're seeing right now. Alexa? Just one more minute. They got to get your mic activated.
I'll show you the river flood forecast again, just to get those numbers on what we are expecting with river flooding across South Mississippi and the North Shore. The east and the west Hobochitto Creek are currently in a moderate flood stage, but we're forecast to get to a major flood stage on Friday. So I'm going to push this out of the way so you can see better. Major flood stage expected for the east Hobochitto Creek, 22.5 feet. Again, like Peyton mentioned, the record is 21 feet. So this is going to be record river levels for the east Hobochitto Creek, expected to crest going into later today into tomorrow. West Hobochitto Creek currently in a moderate flood stage, but also expected to get to that major flood stage at 24 feet going into later today through tomorrow and the weekend. Tchefuncte River, moderate flood stage at this point. Forecast to get to a major flood stage at 21 feet for the Tchefuncte tomorrow and through the weekend. So in the coming days, the water levels are going to continue to rise. The Pearl River is currently in a minor flood stage and only expected to get to a moderate flood stage, but that could change because we're getting so much rain across the South Mississippi and in St. Tammany Parish. Moderate flood stage expected 17.5 feet. Tomorrow is expected to crest for the Pearl River and into the weekend as well. Tangipahoa River in a moderate flood stage right now, expected to get to a major flood stage at 21 feet for the Tangipahoa River tomorrow and this weekend. So those rivers are going to keep on rising. And it's going to be a concern, especially for the east Hobochitto Creek, where we're going to be potentially breaking a record river level going into the next couple of days. So if you know you live along those spots and you haven't left yet, you're definitely going to need to move from those areas before the water levels get even worse than what they already are. Really, again, like we're highlighting, the big concern is continued heavy rain for Picayune. There's a flash flood emergency continuing for Picayune right now, and a batch of very torrential and heavy rain is moving over the city of Picayune at this point. I think Peyton is waving me down for an update right now.
I was looking for cameras around Picayune as we talk about it. I want to show you, just to show you how the water is starting to pile up here, and I'll get it pulled up, control room on my end. This is the 11, of course, it's going to look weird, but this is where Highway 11 meets Highway 43. On the far right side, if you're familiar, that's a Hancock-Whitney bank on the side. And then all that parking lot there, or that is a parking lot that is completely submerged. That is going to be the Claiborne Hill, I believe, grocery store, if you're familiar. So we are seeing water pack up or collect in these parking lots here, and some of that is getting close to these businesses. It may be getting into some of these businesses, but this is just one example of the floodwaters adding up in the Picayune area. So again, if you're just joining, a flash flood emergency has been in effect for Picayune for a while, and it's only getting worse as more heavy rain does move into the Picayune area. This camera shot I'm showing you right now is Highway 11 at 43. On the far right screen of the side of the screen there, that is the Hancock Whitney Bank, and that is a parking lot on the far right side for Claiborne Hill. So that is what we're seeing all around parts of Pearl River County, and especially near Picayune, where the water does continue to climb, Alexa. I'm going to work and see if I can get some other camera shots here. But again, I-59 dealing with some flooding as well. The National Weather Service says it is currently shut down around Highway 43 and I-59. So that's going to make travel a nightmare on the interstate there in Picayune.
There are some street closures in Poplarville in Pearl River County. So Poplarville has several streets that are impassable due to flooding at this point. So we have some road closures across South Mississippi from Poplarville to Picayune. But Picayune especially is where we have I-59 shut down, and several roads are impassable across Picayune because of the ongoing flash flooding that we're going to continue. It's going to be continued to be exacerbated by this extremely heavy rain that's pushing in right now as we speak. And that heavy rain could lead to several more inches of rainfall, just again on top of what we've already seen. We've already seen upwards of 10 to 12 inches of rain across Picayune. We could see another additional 2 to maybe 4 inches with this thunderstorm moving overhead. So the flooding concern is only going to get worse. We're going to see the water continuing to pile up over the next several hours. And even as this batch of rain continues and it does come to an end in the next hour or so, that water is going to be stuck in Picayune for the next several hours throughout the afternoon. It will take some time for the water to recede and come down. So you just want to use extra caution. If you can avoid driving, if you're safe where you're at, I would not leave if you're in Picayune. Just hunker down inside, especially throughout the next several minutes as this next heavy batch of storms pushes over Picayune right now. I did want to get a wider look at some thunderstorms that are redeveloping in St. Tammany Parish. So along this line of storms stretching from Picayune down to Interstate 12 to Lake Pontchartrain, we have a batch of heavier rain that's just west of Slidell. So St. Tammany Parish still has some heavier rain. We also have some heavier showers east in Pearlington. So east of Slidell, we have some heavy rain still falling for parts of St. Tammany Parish as well. Some heavier showers over the causeway, but it's isolated rain on the South Shore, though we are starting to see a few more showers pick up across the city and in Metairie and in Kenner and Luling as well. We have a few isolated heavy downpours that are picking up across parts of the river parishes into Jefferson Parish. Kenner to Metairie, also isolated heavier shower moving into Carrollton, into the Carrollton neighborhood. So we have some spotty heavy showers starting to build again back over the South Shore, but most of that is, not a problem for everybody at this point. We're going to continue to monitor, though, redevelopment of storms throughout the afternoon that could dump some more additional heavy rain. But really the big concern is that risk of truly it's an emergency flash flooding situation in Picayune. So that's where we're going to continue to monitor this really heavy rainfall that's moving in at this point. I think we're going to toss it now to Bree and Brandon.